We are live on both platforms now. All right. I haven't had to start with quiet this morning. Present mode. I am gonna
Time shoot or something like the
tomorrow.
like something.
Tomorrow's daylight saving time. Awesome. Good morning, Nalini. We've got Ayana on here. We've got good morning, everybody. All right. I'm just giving everybody a chance to jump on. Um, it's daylight saving. Monita's asking if it's daylight savings today, but it's actually tomorrow. So everybody's just kind of getting on. I will give everybody a few more minutes to get started because I did know I did have a lot of people that were saying they wanted to be here today. And I'm just gonna do a courtesy blast off of the invite. All right. Let me just send it off to everybody. Bear with me, guys. While we get started, feel free to, in the comment section, feel free to put on, if you wanted to, the link, put any questions that you might have. You want to get started? Everybody's coming on. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
How you doing? Awesome. Getting the party started. I'm just sending off the the link to everybody. There's no often the scramble looking for that link unless you have it bookmarked. Good morning, Wes. How you doing, buddy?
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Sending off that blast if any to make it easy for everybody to get on. I will send these out. Bear with me. How's everybody's week going?
Went well.
Yeah, awesome. Congratulations. You got your first web design client. Is that your
Thank
first
you.
one?
Yep, my first official client.
Awesome. Look at that. A student making money with the stuff he's learned. That is awesome.
Morning.
Good morning, Kevin. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great, great. We're just getting started. We got some folks on. I definitely know I'm gonna fire up the link to some more folks. I know some other people are looking for it too. It's a cloudy day here today, so I'm assuming that that's what everybody's sleeping in today. All right.
What?
It's a cloudy day here in Montreal.
Oh,
Everybody's
yeah.
catching some extra.
You start singing.
And then time change is tomorrow. Are we going forward or are we going back? Oh, it's sunny. Oh my gosh. I can feel the sunshine coming through. Oh my gosh, Kim, as you said so, I just looked and the sun just started peeking through some clouds back there outside there. So I think you're big vibes.
Sent it, I sent it.
Sent it over. All right, so we're gonna start, guys, in another minute or so. All right. Oh, we've got the legend on the call, the man, the legend himself, with all the energy, Vinny Donker. What's going on, buddy?
Good morning.
Doing great. We're doing great, man. It's
That's awesome.
great to have you
I
on.
got one morning here on, so I'm grateful.
And we're loving it. We're loving it. I hide it up sometimes, but even at that, I still it looks it's pretty short, so it's very manageable. All right. Okay.
It's what it is.
Awesome. Vinny, sorry. So I'm just blasting off the link to some other folks as well. We did have some talks this week, and people are saying, "Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting. Keep trying to find the link in the morning." So I will do that. All right. So let's get this party started. First off, check out the hat. It says, "Oh, the blur that's happening." It says "Smart Marketer" on there. All right. So my goal is to make you guys all smart marketers by the time we've done this. And just kudos, encouragement for you guys learning this stuff. We've got Russell on here, who's a student. He's been attending these classes and listening to what we're saying and sharing practices, and he put it out there. And he has his website on the go. So turning the learning into profits, which is what I hope to help all of you guys accomplish over time. And I think this is great encouragement. So Russell, thanks for putting that out there, and thanks for sharing with the group.
You're welcome.
All right, fantastic. So with that being said, let me go ahead and share my screen and let's start opening this up to having a quick conversation with folks around basically, did you bring any questions to the session today? And if you did, feel free to chime them in or type them in the comments, and we can start to we can answer those questions for you, and I'll put them into the curriculum for today. And if not, I'll just go through the content that I have for everybody. Okay. So hold on a second, guys. On the webinar, I am in the process of sharing my screen. All right. So everybody who is on the webinar, feel free to let me know if you guys can see my screen. You can see my screen full screen. But give me a 1 in the comments if you can see my screen. All right. Just so we can see. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yes. I'm seeing a yes. I am just getting a confirmation over here. Where am I missing the?
Yep, I can see it.
Clicks. Okay. Perfect. All right. You know what? I'm not seeing the comments over here. I don't know if my screen is too small. Let's see. Okay. All right. So somebody in the comments can just put a note. Just say, hey, if you can see the screen, put yes or no. I am not seeing the comments right now, so I just want to make sure I can see your questions as they're being asked. If there are any questions coming up. Okay. But without that, let's get this party started. So, guys, we're on to class number 5. All right, class number 5. We've gone through 4 key lessons so far. It probably seems like even more than that that we've done, but there are 4 key concepts I want to make sure that everybody takes away from these previous lessons, along with everything else that we've learned. But most importantly, I want to go over today. I want to do something cool. I wanted to go over with everybody. Start off with doing a recap. What are the 4 things, the 4 core messages? If you remember anything at all from the previous sessions, what are those 4 things that I want to make sure that you guys remember? Okay. Now, first thing first, I just want to ask before I jump into this, have you guys been getting the recordings after the sessions? Because I do know some people, yes. Okay, everybody's been getting the session. Just put a yes if you've been getting the recordings. And if not, just check your spam to confirm whether or not you are it's just not coming into you. If it's just press your spam button to let me know if it's not coming. Just check your spam, and then you just might want to move it over. Or if you are getting it in your promotion list tab, if you're in Gmail, just move it over to your whichever one. If you want to have in your promotions, that's fine. If you want any updates, that's fine. But I would recommend moving it into your primary box so that way you don't miss it. All right. So we went through four sessions: the foundation, ideal customer. This max class number 2. Number 3 was your offer, and number 4 was funnels. All right. So let's just go through and just see. And maybe I'd love to get some participation from you guys. If you can, maybe reiterate in your own words what you learned from that. Good morning, Andy. What you remember from that session that we talked about.
Good morning.
Hello. And maybe just a volunteer, just go ahead and say, so session number 1, we talked about the foundation. So what I try to do is keep it very, very basic for everybody here, is talk about, digital marketing. How is it a foundation? How does it help your business and the overall goal? I made a comparison between traditional marketing, which a lot of us would be a lot more familiar with, and more of a digital marketing, which is where we kind of heading, and what I'm trying to help you guys understand the connection here. All right. Good morning, Carla. Hello, Kemba. All right. So let's starting off. So when we talked about digital marketing being a foundational process, can anybody remember what was the significance of this little diagram I presented to you guys on that first session? Does anybody remember how does this signify your marketing? How does this how does this relate to your digital marketing, your journey? Anybody who remembers a bit?
The relationship with
Yes. Go ahead, Kemba.
the relationship you're trying to build from the initial contact till the raving fans.
Yes, exactly. So it is what this really signifies is that journey and that relationship, that journey, how you build, how that relationship progresses over time, right? So you as people in a community, we probably have a lot of people that that know, like, and trust us. So often when we if we make a referral, we have a product or service that we can offer. We can easily turn these people into customers that pay us and become fans of ours, right? The challenge is that pool is usually very small, very limited, right? It's probably even like maybe 1 to 10% of what our actual potential is, right? So if you think of it as if you were to go out to a bigger audience, right, you have, instead of having only 10 people that you can sell your products to, if you expand your circle of influence out to people out there in the market that need your service, right, you can get a lot more people coming through and make your business go from a lifestyle business to an actual growth minded business, right? And the way that you do that is we need to find ways to attract your ideal customer, who are probably strangers, and then move them through that journey to the point where they become like friends or families, right? Because that's essentially that's what most of us are comfortable with at the beginning. We got to move them through to that process, and then once they get to that process, we move them over in becoming fans, delivering a great service, and then they become fans, and then that's that cycle for you again. All right. So Kimba, thank you so much for sharing that. The other one I had here, I gave some similarities here. What is this diagram showing, signifying? I had a couple things here like yellow pages, mail, network meetings.
I think switching from outbound to more inbound, where you can you're just kind of putting it out there versus actually being able to start digitally tracking it.
You know what, Vinny, you made a very, very good point in saying so. Outbound marketing, it's actually more of a traditional style of marketing with what you're saying. So it's outbound. Traditional marketing is a lot more outbound focus, where you just put it out there to as many people as possible. The goal was to build maximum brand awareness and then to get your customer to you. And whereas digital marketing, another thing to look at it as, I would say, is more like an inbound strategy or a more targeted approach with digital marketing, which allows you to now say, hey, I could put my content in front of the right person, right, to move them through, and it becomes a lot more trackable and traceable. All right. So awesome. Thank you so much, Vinny, for that. So that was masterclass number 1. Masterclass number 2 was all about your ideal customer avatar, right? And you remember we went through this exercise where we made some notes about who our ideal customer would be. We kind of filled that out, right? Did anybody else get a chance to go through and do this on their own with their business? Right? If you don't have the link to this document, this PDF that we have, just let me know. I definitely recommend sharing it with you, and just take this exercise. This is going to be very, very fundamental to your brand and you having successful marketing, because if you do this, you're going to really put your brand in line and have you spending your marketing dollars where you can get the maximum efficiency from it. All right. So I do recommend getting so. And if you give me a number 1 in the comments, if you did get this, if you got this PDF already. And then number 2, if you need it still. Give me number 1 if you got it. And I apologize to the folks on all the webinar folks, because I can't see the slide. I can't see if your comments for some reason this morning. It's comments. If you can hear me. Okay, let me just put a note over here. Open. Could add a question here. I'm just going to put a quick poll. Just make sure that I just want to make sure they can hear me. Can and I'm gonna put a yes or no. Bear with me, guys. Sorry. Do a quick share. Question. Dave and Sarah. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna send this. I'm gonna share this out to everybody. Make full life. Okay, if you guys can hear me, then just click on yes, and if you can't, hit no. All right. So we talked about this exercise right here. Then webinar number 3 was all about your offer, right? And you guys remember this little diagram that I did here for you? What is you remember what this diagram is called? What is the concept behind it? Where did I steal this idea from? this concept is a Japanese concept that I kind of use to explain this concept for us, and this is called ikigai. Ikigai. So I definitely recommend, if you guys like this form of understanding the core product, to go out and watch some YouTube videos about ikigai, about finding your focus. This is really good. And just kind of mention that right here in here, and so watch a little bit more about what this is, because this is a really powerful, and it's a very deep thing as a person. If you're looking to develop your brand and make sure that you are doing your true purpose and doing what you were really meant to do, definitely click on read up a little bit more on ikigai concept, and it talks about what we want to focus on as our ideal product that we're going to go to market with. Is that product that it's something that we love to do, something that we can deliver very well to the market. We can get handsomely paid for it, and it's something that is needed right now. All right, we talked about that concept, and then we also talked about BANT in this session right here. BANT. What is BANT framework used for? Can anybody remember what the BANT framework was used for? You don't have to remember the BANT. BANT. On the session when I talked about the offer, somebody had asked me about something about leads and handling leads and so forth, and I introduced a concept called BANT. You don't have to remember what the acronym stands for, but can anybody remember what was the reference? What is that reference to? It was in reference to the concept of, sorry, hold on. It was in reference to the concept of, oh, wait a second, of leads. So when you're getting leads, especially when you're getting leads online, the goal for that is going to be a numbers game, okay? And by using the idea of BANT, it enables you to pre-qualify your customers, the leads, as they come in very fast, because what you're going to find out, it's going to be a lot more quantity than quality that you used to. When you're doing your regular marketing right now within your network, like I said, these are for the most part, these people that know, like, or trust you. These are people that are coming to you either from a referral, who somebody's already given you the board courage that you have the credibility needed. But when you're doing digital marketing, or you're doing outbound leads, you're going to find yourself in a situation where these people don't know you as well, or they might not be the ideal customer for you. So you're going to use the concept called BANT, which stands for does that ideal customer have the budget, right? So can they afford the product or service that you're offering? The second thing is, are you speaking to the person or persons of authority? So B stands for budget, A stands for authority. All right. Are you speaking to the person of the people of authority? Because if it's a team of two people, they're two decision makers, and you're only speaking to one, you might be doing yourself a disservice by trying to sell the product on that call, because that person may or may not be qualified or equipped to explain everything that you explained there to their other partner. So you'd probably want to have that call or do your sales pitch when everybody's ready, when everybody's available. The next one is N. What does anybody remember what N stands for? Need. All right, so need. So when you're speaking to a new lead, you want to find out, do they have a need? Do they need the service that you're offering? Right? Does that person or that world or the world need that particular solution that you're offering right now? And then the last one is T. Anybody remember what T stands for in BANT? It stands for time bound, right? So is it timely? Do they have the budget? Are you speaking to person authority? Do they have a need? And is the need for now? Are they looking for it today or for it in 30 days or 60 days? Right? If you're speaking to somebody like for example, a real estate agent, and you're offering them, digital marketing or photography service, yes, they might have the budget to do so. You are speaking to the person of authority. They do have a need, but maybe they might only need it when they have a listing, and they're expecting to have a listing in 30 days or 60 days. So it's no point trying to sell it today, because what's going to happen is that you're gonna end up having to resell at a later date. So go through that process again. That's really important, especially for people doing calling, cold calling, outbound calling, or if you're starting off in digital marketing, which would be a lot of people on the call. All right. Good morning, Papis. All right. And all right, good stuff. Welcome to the party. All right, so that was masterclass number 3, and then masterclass number 4, which I got a lot of feedback. You guys really like that. Was last week we talked about the funnels, right? We talked about funnels, and we went over specifically the 6 core funnels that everybody that local businesses would fall under usually. And then I showed you some of the most profitable funnels out there, some of the most profitable products that have made millions and tens of millions of dollars online, and how they're effectively using funnels in their business. And what I want you to do is I want you to understand that a funnel, visualizing that map, is a core process, a core part of your success online, because what you want to do is you want to get a systematic way that you're going to move your ideal customer through, and you want to tweak when you find problems that are happening in that funnel. You want to make it better, and then that way your marketing just becomes a question of numbers. You just get more people to know you, move them through that funnel, and then get them to the checkout process for you, right? And then we fill in automation in there in whatever way we can to simplify things. All right. Hi, Ayana. I saw you sneaked in there. I didn't catch you right away. All right. Welcome. All right. So, good morning. Good morning. All right. So let's. So anybody have any questions about any of those 4 modules we did so far? If you do, just feel free to type it in right now, or you can simply just speak it out if you have a particular question that you want to ask. So that's what we're starting off with this morning. Today's session, we're going to get a little bit more down to the nitty gritty. So a lot of the stuff I talked about before was around concepts and explaining the concept as high level as possible. And by the way, I want to share something really cool with you guys, and I think you guys will all be very excited by this. Is I kind of set up this first module with the 11 classes where we have 11 things that we're going to talk about in terms of digital marketing. And yesterday, in talking to the team, they're asking, okay, Preston, what are you going to do when the modules are done? What are we going to do in the new year, right? And I didn't really have an answer, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to continue this, right? But I'm happy to say that, after we take the break for the Christmas holidays, I am planning to continue this going into the new year. And the modules that I'm picking up, I'm putting together right now for the new year are going to be more of a hands-on sessions. So these sessions, we're actually going to do things like we actually going to build out a Google My Business account with somebody on the call. Hopefully we'll have a volunteer that say, hey, I'd like to optimize my Google business today. And then the next week we'll do a Facebook optimization. So we'll take somebody's Facebook page and then we'll go through all the things that we should do to have a fully optimized Facebook account, look at their website, looking at all the things that they need to do to have an optimized website. And then hopefully everybody else on the call will learn as we're doing it, and then they can follow along and do the same things as I'm doing it with whichever one that we select. All right. Let me know what do you guys think? Do you think this would be helpful to you guys?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, that's it.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So if that's the idea behind it, that gets me very pumped up that you guys like that idea as well. And feel free if you guys have other things that you'd like me to cover. I'm kind of thinking ahead right now on that. So and this is really designed for you guys. So whatever you need in terms of content or stuff to help you guys with your business, that's what I want to put into this sessions. But for now, that's what I have, and I think that would be a great. I can do probably a whole year, at least 50 something topics like that I can do in terms of building your brand. All right. Now speaking about 50 something, 52. I think how many weeks in a year? How many Saturdays? 52. All right. So that's 52 weeks in a year. So that's perfect because just on your website alone, we identified 53 features that your website should have. So we could go a whole year just on your website. All right. And with that being said, we're going to start right now into this week's module where I talked about 3 things that every website should have, but I broke those 3 things down into 53 items to make it they're a lot more bite-sizable and they're a lot more tangible for you guys. The initial thought was to talk about web design, website optimization, and then marketing. These are the 3 things that you need for your website. But I decided let's break it down a little bit further into, hey, what are the things that these guys can see on their website and things that you don't have all of these things when you start off. Let me just let you know this, to get all of these 53 things, it probably will take you a period of anywhere 6 months to a year of continuously working on your brand to get all these things down perfectly. But all I want to do in today's session is kind of let you guys know, at least what are those things, what they are, and then you can start to identify when you see a successful website. You can start to see it when you see it on your website, and you understand a little bit more about what these things are. Okay. Now to help with this this little session here, I'm going to use a a graphic that really make this very easy for me when I first saw it, and I want to share this with you guys. So let me put this graphic in here in the chat for everybody, and I'm going to share this graphic with you guys. Feel free to open it up on your side. I am going to put this in the chat. Okay, perfect. Handouts, comments. Not sure what I'm doing wrong this time. I can't find that comment feature. If somebody's on the, Ayana, when you were on just now, were you seeing my, oh, there they are. No, that's not them. That's just the comments. Were you seeing the comments? Were you hearing clearly on the other side as well? Okay, here we went.
Meet right now. I was in Webinar Ninja.
Yes. Okay.
I switched over to Google Meet.
Okay, and you were hearing me clearly on the other side as well?
Yes,
Okay, and I just can't find the comments. Did you put any comments before when you were in there?
I did.
Okay, I'm not seeing them. All right, so I apologize in advance, folks on the webinar. I cannot see the questions at all. Okay, just so, oh, there they are.
Yeah, just Preston,
Yeah.
just one thing.
Yes,
The image that well, the web address that you shared,
it's
it
tiny.
shows the image very shrunk.
Yes.
Okay.
So, you see,
Where
look,
we can expand on it, but when we expand on it, it's too big. It's too big for the screen. Is there? And there's no way that we can. Oh
Yeah.
no, let me see.
Yeah.
Minimize it.
So,
okay, I'll have to print. The only way I can minimize it is that I have to toggle with the screen size by pressing Control minus or Control plus.
just
Is there any way you can clean that up?
yeah, set your screen to 100, your Chrome Barge extension, or just download it. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to go through it here with everybody, so you can look at my screen.
Okay.
I sent this to you guys so you guys can have it downloaded as a backup in the future. But for now, you can simply just look at my screen. I'll go through all of the points here for you.
All right.
Okay, so as you can see here, we've got, I'm just going to go through these points right here, and I recommend downloading it because this module has gone from in different websites over time, and many times I've saved the link and then the link disappears, or they change it, or the website goes down for some reason. So I do recommend saving this onto your computer. Okay, now this is something that I first came across probably around 4 years ago, and I still reference it today when I'm building a website from scratch, or when I'm explaining to a customer what are some of the things that they want to have on their website. All right, so let's just go through that. We'll go through as many of these points as possible in the next half an hour, and I'll leave probably just a little less than half an hour. I'll probably leave about 5 minutes at the end to answer any questions. And by all means, guys and girls, if there's any questions you have while I'm going through this, please don't hesitate to ask away. Okay. So first things first, you want to make sure you have is an LTD. All right. So that is basically your domain name. All right. And LTD, for those of you guys who are asking, what is an LTD? It's just it's a short name for saying top level domain, meaning you see how it has .com. You want to have an LTD that is either a .com, or for all of us here who are in Canada, to have a .ca domain. Right? So your domain should either be a .com or a .ca. If you're in Australia, you'd have a .com.au. If you're in UK, you'd have a .com.uk. All right, that's important if you're trying to track local traffic. It is common that in North America, a .com is accessible, although .com is primarily US. But .ca specifically says it's to Canada, and it kind of favors that for you. Okay. So you want to have a domain name, and you want to have a domain name that represents two things: either A, your brand, or two, the primary service that you're offering, right? So if you, for example, you are a mortgage broker in downtown Toronto, if you can find a domain that's not super long, but it's something like, mortgagebrokertoronto.com, if you can find that domain and buy it, by all means, I definitely recommend jumping on it, right? That's going to give you the biggest advantage online. The second thing is to have it as your name. So PrestonMartelly.com or PrestonMartelly.ca would be the second best for it. Or if you have a company like JavaLogics, we'd go JavaLogics. We have JavaLogics.ca. First thing, .com was not available at the time of purchasing it. And then number 2, the second best, I would say it's almost the same, is .ca, because we primarily serve Canadian customers. Okay, so that is one thing that you want to do. The next thing is at the top of the menu, you want to have your brand logo. So we have a call when we're going to talk about branding and style guides and so forth. So I'll talk about that at that point. So logo and your phone number. If your main call, main way you make sales is offline, meaning you need to speak to the customer or you need to engage with them, I do recommend having your phone number and your logo at the top. What other piece of information do you think we could put up here?
Email address.
Email, yes, exactly. So if your main point of connecting with customers is via email, you want to put your email address up here. All right. Now, the phone number and the email, these are called CTAs. Anybody know what a CTA is? It's a call to action.
Oh,
Okay. You're just a few seconds behind, Russell.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, a CTA is a call to action. So these are basically on your website. You want to track these 2 items as conversions. So if somebody clicks on the phone number, that's a win for your website. You just got a conversion, right? If somebody clicks on the email, that's a win for your business because that's a conversion. There's a very high chance that if they clicked on it, they actually called you. And if they clicked on your email, they actually sent you an email, and that's you have a transaction. Okay, this other section here, this is called your main menu or your main navigation. This should be on all of your, the expression you're gonna hear me say, these are your money pages, right? These are the pages on your website that are designed to convert. Whether you have a local business or you have an e-commerce business or you have a membership type business, these here are your money pages. And your money pages are made up of your home page, your About Us page, your services page, a blog, and a contact us page. Okay, what are some of the other common money pages that different types of businesses should have at the top here from your experience? Other important pages especially for local type businesses. We have a home, about, services, blog. What about like reviews or testimonials? Right? That's a very important one in terms of building up credibility. So that's definitely one that you would want to have up here. Another one, yes. Another one would be a blog, a gallery, right? So depending on the type of business you have, if you are a restaurant or you are a photography type business, you probably want to showcase your gallery up here. I recommend at most having 5 key pages as your main navigation, right? And anything more than 10 is too much, right? So aim for 5. Anything more than 10 is too much. If you have more than 10 items, up here, I'll say even if you have more than 5, I would highly recommend creating a second menu where you normally see a menu at the top or moving it to the bottom, to the footer, right? And the ones that would move to the footer are pages like the About Us, the Contact Us, the blog, the gallery. These ones I'd move to the bottom, but I'd always keep your home at the home page at the top and your services at the top because these are what people are coming here to look for. Okay. Believe it or not, this order is the order of the pages most viewed on your website, right? Most people, statistically speaking, will land on your home page of your website and they'll navigate across to your About Us to learn a little bit more about you. They'll explore your services, they'll check out your blog, and then they'll reach out to connect you. That's kind of like that visual funnel that people will normally do on your website. And if you look at your analytics, you'll see that's what the common process is. So that's why it's really important to have a very good homepage, a very good About Us section. Make sure you take some time with a copywriter to make sure you have a compelling About Us story. List out all your services properly. The blog section is really good for getting new people to find out about you by putting content out about answers that they'll have. And I'll talk a whole module on blogging and how to do blogging successfully. And then the contact us page, make it easy for people to reach you because some people might come back to your website and they just want to get in touch with you. Don't lose out on that opportunity. Okay. So this navigational menu, by the way, there's one thing that you'll hear me talk about. You'll hear me talk about landing pages, right? When I talk about landing paging for ads, this is the one navigational piece that we will remove from all landing pages because the goal of a landing page is we want people who come to that landing page to do the action that we intended for them to do, right? Which is if we're running ads, for example, from Google or from Facebook, we're going to send them to a page with a call to action to get in touch. We're not going to give them the option to go navigating across our website because we know that people's attention span online is very short. So we're going to take away that option. All right. Don't give them the other landing pages. Any questions about that? All right. Okay. All right. Perfect. So you can hear clear. Okay, perfect. So let us go on. Let's continue on here. The next thing I want to talk about is in terms of that top menu, we have the heading section, which is your main tagline for your brand. So you want to have something that's compelling. Maybe just state your brand, state who you are, what you do, something that makes you that makes you stand out, right? You want to have a short blurb about the main products or services that you offer, right? And then it's recommended if you have an image or a graphic or a video that you can put here, would be a very good idea to kind of get people. So this is what people see when they first come into your website, kind of what's called, you'll hear it, you heard the statement saying above the fold. So everything that people see when they immediately land on your web page has to be nice, clean, and clear, right? And these are the core components that you want to have in here. The last but not least is a call to action, which the call to action could just be a phone number to call you, or it could be something like to book a call. What are some other call to actions you think that would be a smart idea to put on your homepage in the above the fold section? What are some of the other call to actions you might want to put here? I gave you guys one would be book a call. What else could you put in the call to action section?
A survey?
Yes, take a survey. Yes, that would help you. We talked about that as one of the funnels, right? The survey funnel is a really good funnel to segment your audience. So that's really good, Ayana. Anybody else? What else could you put as a call to action?
Questionnaire.
Yeah, a questionnaire, right? An interview, right? To see if that customer is the ideal customer for you, right? Or you can even just take them over to, view more, see our services, right? So this is what the call to action would be. And as you guys notice that this is a static image, right? Less and less are they recommending doing sliders, right? Across it. They perform a little bit less. So every additional slider you put on slows, it splits the chance of people taking your call to action by half, unless you have the same call to action on multiple slides. All right, so make sure you keep that in mind as well. If you can do without it, it's better. And if you do, have it, make it 1 or 2 slides. All right. The next thing down is after you got above the fold, the next thing that people want to see are your services, right? So you want to give it a title, something along the lines of services or related to services around your brand. And then you want to list out your 3, 4, 5 services that you offer, maybe 6 services that you offer. You want to list your services here with the title of the service as well as the short description. Make sense?
Yes.
Then below that, you want to have some quality content. Can anybody take a guess as to why we want to have quality content on the homepage? Do you guys think that's for customers more or for SEO, for search engine optimization?
Both.
Exactly. You want to elaborate on that, Russell?
Well, you want to brag about yourself and use the proper keywords that would be SEO attractive.
Yes, relevant to your website, to make your website very relevant. Yes. So awesome. So you want to get some content on here and you want to be very strategic with that content to get as many of the terms that you want to rank for in this content here. Because when Google is choosing what piece of content to put in their search results, whether it's on the first page, the second page, or so forth, the first thing they're going to look for is, do you have that word that the person is typing in on your website? If you don't have it, you're not going to show up for sure. If you do have it and it's the most relevant, then you have a chance of showing up somewhere on that first page. All right. So you want to make sure you take the time to put some relevant content in here about your brand, and usually written about your main topic. And then in here, we have a little bit different than the call to action up here. We use a form, right? Because some people might not be as, maybe they're on a device that's not set up with their email properly or it's not working properly. And the email, if up here the call to action was an email, it might not work. But this is a great way for people to just tell them straight up. You want to get in touch or you want to get a quote for the service that you saw, put in your name, your email, a phone number, and a message, or select the service that you want, and then get a quote. And then that would be another conversion for you. That's another call to action, right? So that would be a lead for your brand. Going down, the next one down is testimonials, right? Very, very important. You will hear the expression of that used today. It's called social proof. So anybody here ever receive a word of mouth testimony, word of mouth referral? I'm sure we all have, right? Everybody's gotten a word of mouth referral. These are usually great in terms of, you know, giving you qualified leads, giving you the kudos. Well, in 2021, word of mouth referrals are can be so much more, can be so much more exemplified for you, and can be could just be a catalyst for you using that to your advantage. And that means instead of somebody just saying, you know what, Ayana, you did a great job helping me, you know, find the best rates for my last mortgage, or let's say Mark Anthony, thank you so much for helping me, you know, write that piece of content. With a testimonial on your page, you can actually write that so that everybody who visits the website can now see that testimonial, right? It goes so much further for you and your brand. Okay, so important to put your testimonials here. And even if it's just, you know, from Google My Business or from your Facebook, you can pull them, and it's okay to copy them from the other platform and place it here. And then last but not least, at the bottom of your website, the footer can have some really good SEO value for you. And here are some things that you want to put in your footer. You want to put in your contact information, specifically your name, your address, and your phone number, right? That's called NAP, or a citation. That's a very important SEO factor, because every time your name, address, and phone number appears online for you, that is a thumbs up in Google's eyes of your credibility. All right, forget the typo here, guys. But you need to have that name, address, and phone number on the footer of your website, because that's going to give you huge. That's very important from a ranking perspective, and also making sure that that information is consistent on other online platforms for you. I'll talk about that a little bit more when we talk about SEO. The next thing, the footer menu. So you remember I mentioned to you guys up here all the additional things that we don't want to put in the top menu, like your it might be your reviews, or it might be your gallery, or it might be, you know, blogs, right? You can also put your privacy policy down here. Okay, I do recommend having a footer menu, right? Actually, I recommend having two footer menus. One footer menu should list out all of your products and services again, the keywords. So if you offer different types of, you know, photography services, you should list all of the services in here, and then have another menu with additional footer items, like additional menu items, privacy policy, and so forth. You also want to have an ability for people to just on the website, without having them go away, having a sign up for a newsletter or a webinar or something that you can offer of value. Remember, we talked about a lead magnet. This would be a great way for you to get people to say, hey, you know what? I like what I see here. I want to keep doing business with you. I'm going to share my information with you, and I'd like for us to stay in touch. All right. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people are going to be very wary of just handing out their email in concerns of getting spam. So you might want to take it one little further, not just put sign up for my newsletter, but you might want to say, you know, click here to download my free guide or my free tool. And then people will be more inclined to opt in for that, rather than just saying sign up for my newsletter. Okay. And then another important thing is to have your social media icons at the bottom, right? And this would be one where people, you know, they want to check you out. They want to see your social proof. Are you a real business? Are you available on other platforms? And some of the core ones would be Facebook, Twitter. It's not Google Plus, actually. There's a new name. It's called Google Business. Google Plus is been gone. And then maybe Pinterest or Instagram or YouTube. All right, at the bottom right here, LinkedIn, right? So you want to get your social media icons down here. And if you do this, you've got a pretty awesome looking homepage, right? All right. Any questions about the homepage?
Yeah, is it better to have, is there anything wrong with having your social media icons in the header?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just yeah, if you can also put the social media icons in the top here, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Go ahead, Ayana.
How long does it take to do this?
To build out a homepage.
Yes.
So it's a couple things. So basically, the process of getting the content. So depends, you got to factor in the time it takes you to write all that content. So I'd probably say it takes you an hour or two to write the content that's needed for it. You got to get your things like your domain name purchased, right? So that could take you anywhere from 50 minutes to half an hour to get that part set up. And then designing out the page like this, you probably want to allocate maybe 3 to 4 hours. So let's say a day's work, if you're starting from scratch.
Okay, very.
Russell, you'd be a really good example because you're new at doing this. How long does it take you to design out a landing? You did one the other day for yourself, right?
Well, I did one for myself. Doing a landing page is not very complicated. For me, it took me about, I think, about half hour.
To design it?
Yeah.
Okay. But you were copying it from
Maybe
another.
maybe a
you're-
little bit longer. I think it took me around, say, roughly around half hour.
Yeah, but you were copying it from another landing page that you had the same thing, right? Just copying and pasting over. Yeah.
I'm doing it from scratch.
Okay. Oh, doing it from scratch would be half an hour?
Let's say, well, okay, maybe no more than half hour because I was using a template. So all I did was change the colors and I switched the pictures and inserted my own. I may have deleted a section and added another section instead to put it to, let's say, to make it more to my liking, okay, to make it more me. And yeah, I'd say it took no longer than roughly half hour.
Okay.
Making sure there's no bugs or anything else like that too.
All right. Okay, cool. I might say that might be a very high expectation to be able to do that in half an hour for most people here, including myself. So that's good. Kudos to you for half an hour for doing it. But I would say a realistic time is probably maybe 2 to 3 times that time, right?
Okay.
And so yeah, sometimes when we get into it, it seems we're having fun, so it seems really fast. But you know, cool. Yeah, if you go in half an hour, that's awesome.
Yeah, but half hour to an okay, look, roughly half hour to an hour.
Yeah,
It took me to do because I did a very simple one. I didn't do anything that was very complicated. So
yeah. Okay, cool. I understand. Answer your question.
Yes, to add to that, you're showing a landing page here. Where would I search to sort of start this landing page?
Just when you say that, what do you mean by starting a landing page?
Where do I go to just even start a landing page? Like, do I just go on Safari and say landing page, please?
Well, no, you would probably want to start off by this. Do you have a domain name as yet?
No, not my own that I've created.
Yeah, so one of the first thing you want to do is you might want to go to like a site that you can buy a domain on. The one that I use most of the time is called Namecheap. Basically namecheap.com.
Okay.
I can put the link in at the end of the call for you.
Okay.
Yes, and then you'd buy the domain name, and then you want to find a content management system to build it on, right? And I taught on a previous class Russell and a couple of other students how to build it on WordPress, right? To build a website on WordPress, and then there is Elementor is like the page builder that puts all these pieces together for you.
Okay, very good. I'd like to be in that class, Preston.
All right, no problem. But we're gonna redo it again in the new year. That's one that I did past, and Russell took that course and built 2 websites out for himself, and now he's even at the point where he's able to sell website builds to other customers. So that's awesome. All right, so let me just go on to the next point. We're at number 18 of 52. So we're gonna have to continue these at definitely as we go on. The next one is your services pages. So we just jumped right over to the services pages after the home page, and then again we're gonna have a URL at the top. Okay, and we have this at this part of the end here is called the slug of the email. So that means anything that comes after it, we want to have it in a way that is readable, not something that's super long, but something that's readable. And having the slugs with those main names is a really good start. They actually set us up right good here. So your about us page should be your domain name / about. Your services should be your domain name / services, and your domain and your link for your blog should be / blog. All right, don't change these. Right, Mark Anthony? Then down here is you have links to other pages. So in your content here, one of the things that you want to do, links to other pages is very important from an SEO perspective. And what that means is that basically when you have content on your page linking over to another page on your website, the link, the text that you link is actually a very important ranking factor. All right. So if you're on your pages of services and then you have one of your services, so let's say you're a mortgage agent, right? And one of your products is first time home buyers, right? So first would be I would say private mortgages, for example. If you have text in your on your website that says private mortgages and you link that page to the page that talks about private mortgages, that is a very important and relevant ranking factor to make your site more relevant for the word private mortgages. Okay? That's a complex concept, but it let me know if you guys have questions. If you guys understand that. So if you have a website and you want to show up on Google for the term private mortgages, the first thing you need to do is you need to have a page that talks specifically about everything you talk about private mortgages. The second thing is that you want to have links from other pages on your website as well as other websites linking back to that page called private mortgages. And that's called a hyperlink or a backlink. Okay, and that's how you do that point back to it. The other thing you want to do is at the top, I definitely recommend all your service pages. You put your call to action right at the top because people will see that and they'll want to jump right over to it. And then not only do you explain the primary service that you sell, which is private mortgages, you want to list out all of your other services as well. So people can hop from one service to maybe they thought they wanted a private mortgage, but maybe what they need is a mortgage refinance, or they need a second mortgage, or they might need, I don't know, a consolidation mortgage. Okay. Then again, you can share some more services, some more testimonials. Thinking next level, the testimonials on a particular service page should be around talking about your services. If you're talking about private mortgages, the testimonials on that page should be about people talking about your private mortgage service, right? So you want to, when you're asking for services for testimonials, here's one little thing you can do to make them even better is by asking people to, talk about what service you got with me and, how did that make you feel and would you recommend me to somebody else? Because you can put that right here. Okay, and then down here is you want to show off your work. What is if you have case studies, if you have wins. So like you can put a case study of a customer. Hey, customer X came in, they were looking to buy their first home. We went to lender, XYZ. We were able to find them an amazing mortgage at such percentage, and they got their dream home in 30 days, right? How awesome would that be for somebody in the future if they came on here looking for a private mortgage, seeing a testimonial from somebody saying that, that, I don't know, Ayana was an amazing mortgage agent with me. And look at that. She was able to get a mortgage. You don't have to put a full name, but you can she was able to get a mortgage at, 2.5 and and bought her dream home, her first time home. That would be amazing in terms of helping you convert better. Okay. Then another thing that you want to do is you want to have location pages. These are really good for if you want to rank locally, right? And the structure for that URL is normally your domain name, service area, and then all of the local service areas around you. So somebody like you, Russell, you'd put in your domain name, your service area, and then you'd create one page for LaSalle, one for Verdun, one for Lachine, one for Dorval, one for Burgundy, and you can get very, very granular like that. And if you can create a page for each of these, what you're going to find happening is that you're going to start to rank for your main service in those cities.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And what you want to do for that is you want to just have a little write-up about the city. So a little write-up about I don't know, let's say you're offering financial services. You talk about, term life, for example, in LaSalle. You talk about the history of LaSalle, or you talk about some bullet points in LaSalle, and then you make it relevant to your brand. You put a call to action, and then important, you put a map at the bottom here of LaSalle. The Google map. You can embed the Google map on that page. If you do look at this, you're going to see your brand starting to rank very well for those terms in those little cities.
Okay.
Right? Don't just try and target all of Montreal. Everybody else is doing that. but target, even go more specific. Don't just go like LaSalle. Do like Griffintown, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna start to show up. You're gonna rank very fast for that, and because the competition is gonna be a lot less. And think of the little
Okay.
areas around your neighborhoods, and if you can create pages for all of those, no problem. And especially if you're already doing them in half an hour, then you can pump out like 5, 6 of these in half a day. Okay. Next is contact us page. Important. Keep it simple. Name, email, message. Make sure you have it on here. Again, make sure you put in your name, address, and phone number on that page here. Put in your business hours, right? People are going to be looking for that when they can reach you. And then a map with your Google Map listing, okay, at the bottom here.
Okay.
These are the core pages. I'm going to skim through some of the other ones. The inner pages that you could definitely have is about us pages, but also about us pages about everybody in your company. Each person that you put in, you get to rank additional points for that. Your privacy policy must have, if you're going to be running any ads, you need to have a privacy policy on your site. Privacy policy, man, I'm going to have Rael redo this for me. So many typos everywhere. Privacy policy, FAQ page, very, very important to help you rank for frequently asked questions. And I will put that in the footer as well. You want to have a blog, right? And the blog should have content for keywords that you want to rank for, right? So if you're offering a particular service, financial services, so talk about, what is the difference between the different types of insurance programs, right? Answer that question. What do you need to get insurance? How do you know if insurance is right for you? All those questions, you fill that out and you put that into a blog for an FAQ. You're going to start to show up for that. And then guess what? They're on your website with all your money pages on top here. You can put a list here of all of your other blogs that are related to that topic, so people can read through your website. And tag clouds are not as common as before, but you can also add a tag cloud in here. Elementor lets you do that quite easily. You can just add that component on here, but it'll show other blogs that are related to the topic that you have here. Okay. Inside your blog, important for you to do is I would recommend always having a header image for your blog, having the relevant content that you need based on the keyword you're trying to rank for. And I will show you guys next year in the next wave of things how to use a tool called Phrase, which we use in our agency a lot to help us know exactly what words we need to put to be able to rank, how many words we need to put, and what elements that we need on it. So we have that. And then you want to have social media share buttons on here. Okay, so the reason for the social media share buttons, one of the very important SEO ranking factors is the number of times your content has been shared on other social media platforms, right? But also you want to make it easy for somebody who comes on here to see this blog and then just share it, right? With other people in their network, right? I do that all the time. I'm always reading up about digital marketing, always reading about new things. And when I see something that I need, I pretty much have a group that I just, hey, check this out, guys. I think this would be a useful read. All right. So definitely have that share bucket, make it easy for people. And then also you can, or you may or may not choose to have comments, because right now this is something that gets flagged a lot, having a comment section on your website. If you do that, I would recommend making it mandated through like a Facebook profile. So that means they have to be logged in on Facebook for them to leave a profile. If not, and you leave this open, you could find yourself getting a lot of like spam coming through, right?
Okay.
It's not fun, especially when it's like Viagra related or something like that, right? So you might or may not choose to have the comment section on, but if you do, I would definitely make sure you put some kind of a reCAPTCHA on there to make sure that you validate it's a real person submitting it, or you make them have to opt in through Facebook. All right.
Yes.
All right. I try to go as fast as I can, but we got to 35, and I hope I didn't put anybody to sleep, or you guys are all good with this. But are you guys okay if I stop here? You guys want me to go a little longer with them? It's the top of the hour, and I want to be respectful to everybody's time.
Well, I have to go.
Yeah, that's okay. We can pause here. We can pause here. Everybody has the document, so you can definitely go through. And I think I mentioned all the most important ones. So you can kind of continue down the path of what I said to get through to the end of those right here. All right. So with that being said, guys, everybody, thank you very much for showing up today. Any feedback from you guys? Any aha moments for anybody on the call? I love to hear those at the end of the call. It pumps me up.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah, awesome. Learn something new?
Yeah.
Amazing,
Definitely.
amazing.
Yes, everything was a aha moment.
Everything was an aha moment. Yeah, that's all right. That's good. That's good. All right. So, all right. So this is pretty cool. So thanks to everybody for coming on. I think that this session is going to be recorded. It was recorded, so you'll be able to watch the replay of it. And you know, how about I do that? How about I just go through the rest of these? And if you have to jump off right now, go ahead and jump off. And if not, you can just watch the replay and go to that last part and see what I was talking about for the other ones. All right. So if you got to hop off, feel free to do so. If not, I'll just keep talking to myself here and I'll go through all these points.
Preston,
Yes.
for the last week, I never got the recording. You know, I wasn't able to attend last week.
Okay, no problem. I will make sure that I get that over to you. I will talk to the team. They're taking all the modules and cutting them up. So we take out all the dull moments and then just take the value points of it and then putting it on YouTube. So I will get that to you. But even at that, I will share with you a link that you can see the raw recordings of all the previous ones as well. Okay?
Sorry, not to shut up. I have to get some dinner or something.
Yeah, okay, no problem. I'll share that over to you. Okay, all right. So let me just go to continue on the rest of these points here. For those of you guys that are on, you're welcome to stay. And it doesn't hurt my feelings if you got to jump off. I'm just going to go over these points. So from SEO perspective, the key things that you want to make sure that all of your pages have are going to be a page title. So your main keyword that you want to rank a particular page for, you want to make sure you have that in the title. Okay, and let me show you guys a really cool little ninja trick for that. Is I was teaching this out in a module here. I'm gonna just try to find it. Oh no, I closed it down. Bear with me. Hold on. Where are you? It's got to be here. To the one I can see. Did I close it down? Okay, maybe I did. I just want to show you guys that because there is I was literally just teaching that to somebody. No, 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 no. Okay, I'm not seeing it right now, unfortunately. I'll have to come back to it. But I have a module. Let me see if I can pull up right here in here. Google. And I'll show you guys how we do the title for a page. Okay, I was showing how to write the meta title for a page. You want to have it written with using the main keyword at the front of the URL and then the main keyword in the title of the URL as well as in the meta description. Right down here. Where are you? So here we go. So this is an example of one. Let me just blow this up. Okay, perfect. So this is the example of one right here. The main keyword that we want to rank for this client is Mortgage Broker Canada. And as you can see, we actually found on his website, his About Us page was already ranking fairly well. I think he was on page 2 of Google, and it wasn't even optimized for that term. So whereas we would normally want to even actually try and rank that term for the first page of Google, we can actually rank his About Us page by simply putting his main keyword right in the title section of the website, and then also having it down here listing the main keyword and the neighborhoods that he serves. Right. So this is why I talk about putting it in the meta title and the meta description using a tool like Rank Math or Elementor. Makes it very easy to put that information in. And I'm gonna keep you guys abreast on how this page does just by doing that one optimization tip. Often we have some other things to do, but that's the main thing that we're going to be setting up on that page to see how that ranks differently. Okay, so let's continue on here. Okay, so we were over here. We talked about the SEO. The easy to update SEO structure. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we use the LTDs in this format right here. We have the main domain, service or service area, the service that we're offering, and then any parent pages to that, any channel pages to that. So maybe we have a particular domain, we have services, we have private mortgages, and then we have a pricing for private mortgages or a contact us form. You want to make that be a child for the main URL. Okay, so that's a nice, easy to follow URL structure. Some other things to consider: making sure that you do check your page for mobile responsiveness when you're done. Okay, you want to make sure that your menu changes to a hamburger menu when you on mobile devices. So you see these 3 bars, that's called a hamburger menu, whereas on a desktop it'll be a full version like this. You want to make sure that's a very important responsive feature for your website to have. Down here, you want to test that it's compatible with different browsers, right? You want to test it in the main browsers right off the bat. And then you want to talk about integrating some kind of analytics tool, right? There are 2 of them that we highly, 3 of them we recommend right off the bat. One of them is Google Analytics. It's free and it works very well. It's you might as well have it on your website because it's going to give you some important data that you might want to use in the future. Second one is Microsoft Clarity, which gives you the ability to add heat mapping and video recording on your website. And then number 3 is some kind of funnel mapping software, like we recommend using Funnelytics, which is the one that we use. Okay. Next one is the Google Search Console. Google Search Console is important to have that integrated on your website because it'll tell you that how you're doing from a search perspective. What you need to fix on. It'll give you ideas for blogs that you can write as you go on. Optimizing your website for speed. One of the key important parts of launching your website is making sure that you optimize the pages correctly, make sure that it's loading fast, and you're using some kind of a caching tool to make sure it loads fast. You want to put the necessary schema on your website. Now, schema is a little bit more of an advanced topic, but I am going to show that in the next module. What is the key schemas that you need to put on your website? For example, to identify to Google that you are a local business, or you are a restaurant, or you are a dentist. There are different schemas that you can put on to make sure that you let Google know what type of business you are, and you want to make sure you implement that on your website. Some back-end stuff, you want to make sure that you're using a host that loads fast, right? You want to make sure that you have security on your website, meaning this little padlock here is set, so using the SSL. You want to make sure that you are you have it set up for backups, and you want to make sure your backups are being done in a cloud somewhere. And then also you want to make sure that you're using a CMS that is easy to manage. Okay, a few more things to avoid. Number 1, you shouldn't use Flash. Steve Jobs made sure that he killed that before he left this world. Flash is not a good thing on websites today. It was very common before. So if you catch that, do that. Make sure you remove that. Automatic music playing in the background, not a good thing also for people. A lot of customer sign is a great idea to have somebody land on the website and have music play right away. I don't recommend doing that. That's a big deterrent. And if you notice you have that on your website, you'll see a lot of people bouncing from your website from that feature. And then another one is don't upload a full video to your server. That will slow down your website overall and slow down the server speed. Make sure you just use like a link to YouTube or have it hosted somewhere else. And then you talk about here, moving sliders on the homepage, right? Too many of them definitely are distracting, and it actually has a negative impact on your overall conversions. And then you don't want to have any dead pages on your website, or let me see, there's a called 404 pages. So these are pages these are just broken links on your website, not something that you want to have apparent for you. All right. And with that said, we've got through all 53 modules. All right. So I am going to pause the